What is good, people? Satsuki the Savage here, and today I'm going to be talking ReZero, more specifically, my top 10 favorite characters, and of course, I'm only talking about Season 1, since Season 2 got delayed, and I don't read the web novels, so please, no web novel spoilers in the comment section, alright? With that being said, let's get started.
Honorable mention, Rome. Old man Rome didn't have much of any focus in the story, but I still think he's cool. Rome certainly fills the gentle giant archetype, but as the big club implies, he's still quote unquote with the shits. I respected Rome for a couple of different reasons. For one, he was fair. When Rome saw the Emilia Subaru had, he didn't try to finesse him, but instead properly appraised the cell phone. Secondly, Rome is hospitable. Although Rome doesn't appear to have much, he tried to be a good host to Elsa and Subaru by offering them milk, albeit watered down, but it's the thought that counts. Lastly, Rome is a decent guardian. Obviously, Rome wasn't that great of a caretaker since Felt lived alone and essentially got kidnapped by the lolicon that is Reinhard, but Rome did alright by Felt, especially considering that they aren't blood related. The best show of Rome as a guardian was when he infiltrated the castle, packed with knights and powerful mages just to take back Felt. With Rome taking on a risk like that, which is tantamount to a suicide mission, all to rescue Felt, I had to commend him. Number 10, Rem. I feel the need to explain this one in detail because it would be deemed controversial by the Rem cult, but I'll save that for later. On to the good vibes. I like Rem mostly because of her loyalty. Now when I talk about Rem's loyalty, people may only think of it when it pertains to Rem's time with Subaru, but even before then, she proved her devotion on different occasions. There was when Rem lost her horn and became weaker, so in turn, Rem tried her best to compensate for her sister. Or the time when Rem killed Subaru because of his suspicious presence just to ensure the safety of the Roswell household. And then there are other factors that make Rem likable, her kind attitude and raw fighting moments being some of the things that come to mind. Now, while I like Rem, the reason why I'm not head over heels for her is mainly because I don't put a tremendous amount of stock in a relationship with Subaru. I feel like some people, not all, have Rem as one of their favorite characters simply because of her loving Subaru seemingly unconditionally. And again, while I appreciate the loyalty in that, I had to ask the question, do people feel so strongly about Rem because she's so loving, or is it because she loves the main character specifically? It's not a question that needs an answer, but it rings in my head every time I see Rem universally regarded as the best girl, because while I like Rem, I don't love her. Number 9, Emilia. This may sound weird, but to me, Emilia is a damsel in distress done right. Emilia often finds herself in situations where she requires the help of Subaru or Puck, whether she's aware of it or not, but I actually don't have a problem with this. What bothers me about damsels in distress isn't necessarily them being in their predicament, but it's usually their helplessness and or incompetence, but this doesn't apply to Emilia. In fact, a couple of times, Emilia has played the knight in shining armor to Subaru's damsel in distress. Adding on, I like Emilia because she is strong, both in her power as a mage and resolve to achieve her ambition. Not to dwell on this comparison, but one of the reasons why I prefer Emilia slightly over Rem is because she has her own goals separate from Subaru. Also, despite me not normally being fond of super selfless characters, I find Emilia charming. Emilia is the type of person that give you the clothes off her back. An example of this is when she took detours upon detours, helping random people en route to recover her insignia. And best of all, Emilia's benevolence does no bounds. She isn't kind to the point of being a pushover, which I appreciate. Lastly, the lore of Emilia is another appeal to her character, since she is shrouded in mystery. There is a lot we don't know about Emilia, like her backstory or what's the significance of her resemblance to Satella, and these intriguing questions make Emilia all the more enticing as a character. Number 8, Wilhelm. If you see an old man wielding a sword in an anime, 9 times out of 10, they will be badass, and Wilhelm is no exception. I think Wilhelm won a lot of people over when he fought the white whale and dissected it like he was in biology class, but even before then, Wilhelm caught my eye. Pause. Through his interactions with Subaru, Wilhelm flashed some of his wisdom, like when he stopped sparring with Subaru because he realized Subaru was not training to actually get stronger. I also like that when Wilhelm talked to Subaru, it was never in a condescending manner, despite the obvious class difference. Then there's Wilhelm's backstory, which what I'm about to say might piss some people off, but I didn't care for it that much. However, it added another layer to Wilhelm's character, so I like that we got that flashback nonetheless. One last thing, I like the fact that even with Wilhelm's pride as a master swordsman, for a mission, he is willing to disregard his chivalry and cut an enemy down from behind, an act most swordsmen deem dishonorable. Number 7. Aldebaran. Another choice that may seem strange at first since Al didn't have much to say or do in the anime, but I saw hints of his character. From his edgy cloak to his green sandals, Al doesn't look like a conventional knight and stands out even among the King's candidate's colorful subordinates. Al's character holds a lot of mystique and, spoiler warning for folks, since what I'm about to say has been apparently omitted from the anime. Al, just like Subaru, is from Japan and found himself summoned into this new world. I give a shout out to Young Wally and C-Tactics as my sources for that info since I don't read the web novel. Back to anime material, I am also drawn to Al's entries because they most likely tell a horrific story. According to Priscilla, Al's face doesn't look the cutest, which is probably why he wears a helmet at all times, and he has an entire hand missing, so there's that. And with the way Al talks to Priscilla, I get the vibe that those two have known each other for a long time. For example, when Priscilla was causing an uproar in a castle, beefing with everybody and a mama like 2016 Soldier Boy, Al just groaned and lamented over the fact that he would have to fight the people Priscilla pissed off, saying so in a very nonchalant tone, like he's been through this before. You can also take from what Al said that even though he has to put up with Priscilla's shit, he will fight for her just as a knight should. Number 6. Priscilla.
You what?
Number 6. Priscilla.
I'd like to welcome all newcomers to Anime Anonymous. So, to begin, would anybody like to introduce themselves? Ah, yes, you, with the mop head. You look like you have unlimited stories to tell with that big-ass head.
Hi guys, I'm Satsuki the Savage.
Hey, Satsuki.
Nigga! And I'm addicted to bad nature anime women. Whether it be Isabella from The Promised Neverland, Death from Akame Got Killed, Mine from Shield Hero.
That nigga crazy.
Can't get enough of evil women. They call to me, whisper in my ear, tell me to love them. And Priscilla, she is no exception.
Now that my fetish has been revealed, no, not that fetish. Let me go a tad bit in more depth with my reason for being a Priscilla simp. There are asshole characters, and then there's Priscilla. Characters that have reached a new low or high, depending on how you look at it, on how antagonistic they can be. Priscilla isn't just a thorn in the side of Subaru, she is a biatch to everyone she comes across, and I got to say, I love it. The arrogance of Priscilla is her best feature in my opinion, because it goes off the rails. Priscilla is so unbelievably self-centered, she believes that the world is designed to operate in a way that benefits her. Priscilla also has quotes to her name that include her calling people commoners and requesting that Emilia should apologize for being born, which is very Gilgamesh-esque, just replace commoners with mongrels. And you cannot forget that Priscilla is a certified troll, proven by her bringing Subaru to the castle and draping herself all over him just to embarrass Emilia. Much like other characters, I am curious about the unknowns of Priscilla as well, like how did she come around to having Al as a knight who doesn't seem like a person Priscilla would employ, or how strong is Priscilla exactly, because most people with fans as weapons are dope fighters. I anticipate viewers may think I'm crazy for having Priscilla this high or even on the list at all, but her type is my preference and I am never bored when she is on screen. Number 5, Subaru. In the middle, the main protagonist makes his debut, and to be honest, I'm a little surprised myself that I have Subaru in this spot. It's rare that I have the main character near the top of my favorite characters, but Subaru is here for the same reason why people would probably dislike him. He is extremely flawed. Some of Subaru's defining characteristics include his persistence and optimism, both of which are double-edged swords that can make Subaru look great or shitty depending on the circumstance. For example, when Subaru first met Rem and Ram, they fought his positive attitude with indifference, but Subaru came off as charming because he kept trying to make a good impression on the sisters in spite of their coldness. However, using the same example, when Subaru died from the curse and came back, he tried much too hard to carry out his chores in the mansion, resulting in him overexerting himself and turning off everyone around him. I like how the tone around Subaru's character can shift so seamlessly. In one episode, he could come off as a goofball, and in the next, he's the depressed anti-hero. One of my favorite Subaru moments comes from the infamous episode 18, where he talks to Rem on the rooftop. In this episode, Subaru breaks down, going on a rant about his shortcomings, even talking about his time in his world where he felt like he did nothing but waste time. I love that talk because Subaru was exposed and completely vulnerable. It showed the ugly side of his character, which felt genuine and relatable in some aspects. So, while Subaru can be annoying from time to time, and people may not like his decision to choose Emilia over Rem, which you should watch a Cheat Nuts video on why that decision makes sense, I understand why he acts the way he does, and he feels real to me. Number 4, Cruz. Cruz is one of my favorite characters, and out of the 5 king candidates, I believe she is the most suited to win. Cruz is an all-around balanced character. She is caring but fierce, strong but gentle. She has different components to her characters that I find fascinating. What I like most of all about Cruz is that even though she's overall a pretty decent person, she isn't a saint by any means. Cruz may lend a hand to someone in need, but it is not for free. She cares about others, but not to the point that she becomes a charity case. One of Cruz's highlights was denying Subaru the help he was desperately scrambling for. In Subaru's plea, he stressed that Emilia would die without Cruz's aid, and what he offered to Cruz was the removal of Emilia as a king's candidate, to which Cruz replied with cold logic. From her point of view, Emilia dropping out as a candidate meant nothing because without her intervention, the incentive Subaru proposed would be achieved with Emilia's death anyways. So even though helping Emilia would have been the ethical thing to do, Cruz didn't budge because it didn't benefit her, showing me that Cruz isn't naive and knows how to maneuver in the political game she's playing. The maturity, the poise Cruz shows is that of a person that I think should become king. Then there's other cool pieces to Cruz's character, like her battle competence, her ability to inspire people, and a power that allows her to tell when people are lying. And even though this has nothing to do with Cruz's character, she looks damn good in anything she wears. Her regular clothes, her battle armor, her dress, it don't matter. Yeah, I may have a thing for military women as well. Number 3, Puck. Puck is the shit, and I didn't think I would ever say that about the animal companion of the show. In the earlier episodes of ReZero, Puck, when linked up with Subaru, was the comedy duo that was instrumental to lighting up the mood. Those two and their chemistry led to good comedic moments, so I credit Puck as being one half of that team. Additionally, with Puck's wisdom, he is like an encyclopedia of information, so I also respect Puck's role as the guide to Emilia and Subaru. Moreover, catering to the meathead side of me, Puck is raw. And I mean raw even in his cute small form, because he will throw hands or icicles. But the absolute most raw we have seen Puck is in his true form, where he fucked around and killed Subaru for an individual record height of 3 times and froze the entire world. To this day, the end of episode 15 remains to be a beautiful moment in the series that still gives me chills, pun intended. We got the eerie visual of Puck's true form, and we saw how menacing he could be when he said the line, "Sleep along with my daughter," and Subaru's head falls off like a bowling ball. Number 2, Elsa. My heart was stolen since she first appeared in the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the fucking bow hunter. I love Elsa for her villainy. It's as simple as that. I'm fast forwarding here, but there was the one instance involving Elsa and Subaru that showed me just how sinister her presence is. In this scene, Subaru knows who Elsa is, but puts on a facade out of fear, but Elsa sees right through it instantly, telling Subaru she can detect his fear and anger, but lets him go free since she believes they will meet again. I love that moment because in that brief encounter, without even fighting, Elsa proved how terrifying she is. Now, let's get to the fading because Elsa wants all the smoke. Elsa will not hesitate to thrust herself into danger. She is the same woman who got Bruce Lee kicked by Subaru and responded by smiling and blushing. And to boot, Elsa can hold her own. She fought Subaru, Rome, Emilia, Puck, and goddamn Reinhardt all in the same day and lived to tell the tale. Oddly enough though, despite everything I said, it should be noted that Elsa isn't a complete battle crazed maniac, as she tried to negotiate what felt for Emilia's insignia before trying to kill everyone, so she has some restraint. Not that much for Elsa personality wise since she has limited screen time, but she left a huge impression on me as a force to be reckoned with. And number 1, Beatrice. My first time watching ReZero, I did not like Beatrice. My thoughts on her initially was, this lolly chick is ugly and annoying. Why is she so difficult to deal with? Motion to present time, and I realized that I slowly became just like Beatrice, except for the lolly part. I feel Beatrice on an emotional and spiritual level. She is irritable, she is a loner, she is blunt, she is how I imagine myself. The scene that really made me start thinking this way was when Subaru kept finding his way through Beatrice's door crossing, and eventually she got fed up and complained about him just waltzing in without knocking. I feel like that's the exact response I give Subaru if I was a cotton candy eyed powerful lolly, which segues me to my next point. Beatrice is fucking strong. In the timeline where Rem died because of the curse, Beatrice promised to protect Subaru, and that she did, fighting off Rem and even Roswell, who she technically all-screened. Just like Puck, Beatrice is also an excellent source of information since she lives in the library, so her intelligence is her strong point. Lastly, I like the less explored side of Beatrice as well, because while she can appear to be uncaring and cold, she isn't heartless and has saved Subaru's life, albeit it was really for Puck. Through Puck and through Puck alone, do we see Beatrice energetic and full of life, which I think is adorable.
Alright people, that about does it for my top 10 favorite characters in the show. Let me know some of your favorite characters in ReZero. You can give me your top 10, your favorite, or you can bitch about why I didn't have Rem higher on the list. Whatever you want to do, comment below. But guys, like, subscribe. Satsuki the Savage, I am out.
Tasting your soul, you're not in control, just giving you goals. Scared of your past, the future is closed. The start is the end is a start. They both are the same, can't tell them apart. Nigga, that's cuz the intro was the outro.